I'm 78 years old. And there's a sentence that's been sitting in my chest for a long time now, getting heavier every year. I learned what love really costs too late. I'm not saying that because I think I was cruel, or cold, or unloving. I wasn't. I did what I thought was right. I showed up. I worked. I provided. I stayed. And for a long time, I believed that was the same thing as loving well. At this age, mornings come quietly. I wake up before the sun, not because I want to, but because sleep doesn't hold me the way it used to. The house makes sounds it never made before. Pipes ticking. The refrigerator humming like it's keeping me company. Sometimes I sit at the table with a cup of coffee and watch the light move across the floor. That's when thoughts come back. Not the loud ones, the small ones, the ones that never asked for attention when I was younger. I don't tell this story to feel better. I don't think it will. I'm telling it because there's not much time left to pretend I don't know what I know now. When you're young, love feels like something you possess. You say it. You promise it. You assume it stays put. Like a piece of furniture in the room. You don't check on it much because it's always been there. I met my husband when I was 26. His name was Daniel. He smiled easily, not broadly, but like he was holding something back. We met through a mutual friend at a backyard barbecue. I remember he had ash on his sleeve from the grill and kept brushing it off, embarrassed, like it mattered. I liked that he noticed small things. We married 2 years later. A modest wedding. Folding chairs. My mother cried more than anyone else. I remember thinking, this is it. This is the part where life settles down. And in some ways, it did. I had a job that paid steadily. Not glamorous, not terrible. It was the kind of work people respected quietly. Daniel worked too. We bought a small house. We painted the walls ourselves, uneven in places. We talked about kids. We had 2. Life filled up quickly after that. Days stacked on top of each other. Work, bills, school lunches, repairs. I told myself this was what love looked like. Responsibility, endurance, holding things together. I didn't notice when conversations got shorter, when we started speaking in logistics instead of thoughts. Did you pay the bill? Can you pick them up? I'll be late tonight. I didn't notice because nothing was wrong enough to notice. That's how it happens, I think. Not with explosions, with silence. I remember Daniel would sometimes ask me to sit with him in the evening, not for anything specific, just to sit. I'd say, "In a minute." And I meant it. I really did. There was always something unfinished. Laundry, a phone call, a problem I thought needed fixing before I could rest. That minute stretched into years. I told myself there would be more time, after the kids were older, after work slowed down, after we were more secure. Love, I thought, could wait. It was patient. It understood. I didn't see the cost building. Not then. The kids grew. They stopped reaching for my hand. Daniel stopped asking me to sit as often. Not out of anger, out of adjustment. People adapt quietly when they realize something isn't coming. There were moments I could have chosen differently. I see them clearly now. A school play I missed because dinner wasn't ready yet. A weekend trip Daniel wanted to take that I postponed because the timing wasn't right. Conversations I half listened to, assuming they could be finished later. Later is a dangerous word. It sounds harmless. It isn't. I loved my family. I still do. But love isn't just a feeling you carry around. It's a series of choices you keep making, even when you're tired. Especially when you're tired. I didn't understand that then. The first real crack came quietly. Daniel got sick in his late 60s. Nothing dramatic at first. Fatigue, tests, waiting rooms. I sat beside him in plastic chairs, folding my hands in my lap, telling myself I was being present just by being there. One afternoon, he looked at me and said, very calmly, "You know, I don't think you ever really saw me when we were busy." I didn't know how to answer that. I wanted to defend myself, to list all the things I'd done, the years I'd managed everything, the way I kept life running. But none of that addressed what he said. So I said nothing. That silence cost me more than I knew. His illness progressed slowly, too slowly to feel urgent at first. And then suddenly it wasn't slow at all. Hospitals blur together in memory. White walls, the smell of disinfectant. The way time behaves strangely when you're waiting for news you don't want. In his final months, I stayed home more. I cooked badly. I learned how he took his tea. I listened. Really listened. But it felt like learning a language when the conversation was almost over. He didn't blame me. That's the part that hurts the most. He wasn't bitter. He was gentle. Sometimes he'd squeeze my hand and say, "We did okay." And I'd nod, because I wanted to believe that. He died on a quiet morning. No dramatic last words. Just a long breath, and then none after it. After the funeral, people checked in for a while. Meals arrived, cards. Then life resumed. Everyone else's anyway. The house became too quiet. Not empty. Quiet. There's a difference. Empty implies something waiting to be filled. Quiet just sits there. I started noticing how little of me existed in other people's daily lives. The kids called. They loved me. But they had their own rhythms, their own urgencies. I realized then that love neglected doesn't disappear. It just moves elsewhere. I thought retirement would help. More time, fewer obligations. But time without someone to share it with is a different kind of burden. I replayed moments I'd dismissed as insignificant. The way Daniel used to tell stories that wandered. How I'd gently rush him along. The evenings he fell asleep on the couch while I stayed up finishing things that no longer mattered. I understood then that love costs time. Not the leftover kind. The kind you give up when something else seems more important. And once you don't pay that cost regularly, the interest is brutal. There are things that can't be fixed. Apologies that arrive too late. Presents offered when the room is already empty. You can't go back and choose differently. You can only sit with the knowledge that you didn't. People say regret teaches you. Maybe. But it doesn't undo anything. It just sharpens your memory. I'm not lonely all the time. That would be easier to explain. It comes in waves. Some days I'm fine. Other days, I catch myself turning to say something to Daniel before remembering he's not there. Those moments still surprise me, even now. I don't think I failed at life. That's not what this is. I lived. I worked. I raised children. I loved in the ways I knew how. But knowing how isn't the same as knowing enough. If you're listening to this and you're younger, I won't tell you what to do. I don't know your life. I only know mine. I thought love was proven by endurance, by holding everything together, by sacrificing joy for stability. What I didn't understand is that love also needs attention. It needs foolish, inefficient moments. It needs you to stop being impressive and start being there. I assumed people would always understand my absence, that they'd know it meant responsibility, not indifference. But understanding wears thin when it's stretched across decades. The people you love won't always ask for what they need. Sometimes they'll just wait. And waiting quietly is exhausting. I don't have many years left. I feel that now. Not in a dramatic way. just in how the future looks shorter than the past. I try to be present in the ways I can, with my grandchildren, with friends who are still around. I listen more than I speak. But there's a difference between learning and arriving on time. If this meant something to you, maybe sit a little longer with someone you care about. Not because it's the right thing, just because you can. As for me, I'll finish my coffee. I'll watch the light move. And I'll carry the love I had, and the cost I didn't understand, quietly with me, the way old women do.